Before this video starts, I wanted to do a little disclaimer. It is filmed on an old camera, so it might be a little out of focus at times, and the video starts off a little slow, but as it goes on, I have a little more fun with it. This is also less about showing the process of doing it, like physically, like you see me working on it, and more about just me talking about it and sort of like a vlog, just talking about life, sort of. Next to me here I have the finished product, obviously, and at the end of the video you're gonna see it unblurred. I think it turned out really sick. I really hope you watch it through so that you can see how it evolved. It'll take you a while to get there, so I want you to just enjoy, relax, really lower your expectations, to be honest, because this is the most setup you will see in the video. It's just, this shot is the most effort that I've put into it. But life is about the journey, okay? It's not about the finished product. I hope you get inspired. I'll see you at the end of the video. I broke my camera, my phone camera. Yeah, this is the main camera. I broke it like actually so far back. At first it wasn't that bad, but now dust got all over it, so it's so blurry, it's unusable. And I'm just using my Sony CyberShot, which I didn't use to make videos like this. The audio is probably kind of muffled because I can't connect my good microphone to here. But for this video I don't really care because it's kind of last minute. It's a last minute idea anyway. Here I'm filming on the phone camera with the cracked lens. You can see it has little black speckles, but this is the one I'm filming at the moment. And I think I'll film the whole video on it because I guess it's cool. It gives a sort of old vintage look. I bought it mainly just to take cool pictures, you know, with your friends when you're out and about. But it's also cool to use it to film videos. A lot of people are doing it nowadays, sort of just making vlogs using old cameras, just wanting to transport ourselves back when everything felt simpler, because we were kids, but we are not kids anymore. We are grown adults, aren't we? We are grown adults. We are grown men. We are grown. Yes. As you can see, I actually already started the project. It's hanging here because it's drying. The clay is drying. In front of this nuclear reactor. This fucking, oh my god. The real artistry is down here. You see all those curves? Turn it upright, it's actually looking something like this. Whoa. It's a little, it's not exactly, I need to like twist it a little. But this is what it's looking like. I did it based off a little sketch I did on my phone. So I drew this idea. I thought I want something to resemble a tree, but I hate how people make those trees online, you know, like DIY tree from wire thing. That's not what I wanted to go for. I wanted to do something abstract. So I did this little sketch of like more like a branch sort of thing, but it's a little more spiral type thing. I kind of stuck to the sketch, but not fully. Actually, that's kind of out of place. But what I'll fix it. What is it focused on? This probably feels like an old home video because it really is. I essentially had a little metal wire here, you can see, or can you, if it can focus. So essentially I used some wire here for the shape, and it was all very loose just when I did it with the wire. Then I had to use tin foil, to wrap the wire so that it was kind of more in place, stuck together. And then the clay here, which is the layer I'm doing now, is gonna like really make it rigid, because right now it's still so springy. And right down here it's already like much more stiff, like I can't bend this. And I will slowly build it up so that it's not like, I can't do it instantly, like the whole thing, because if it's too heavy it will just like have no time to dry and it will just fall. So I have to go slow. I actually did wrap some wire here around the base where it would need more support. so this is really like thick. Since you kind of get the gist of what I'm doing, I can show you the supplies I'm using, because this is a very professional, thought out video. So I went out to buy some pliers here, clippers, and this is the wire I use. I could have had a thicker one, but I didn't find one. Foil, some clay. This Das is a really good, reliable clay. And these three are basically for the end portion. I'm gonna spray paint it in this chrome color. But it says here that it is not... What the fuck? It says here that it is not abrasion proof, or nor is it weather resistant. So because of that, I'll have to put on a layer of acrylic medium, which is just a clear, drying, glossy layer that helps protect it. But the nature of it is that it's not gonna be smooth. Well, here it's obviously really not smooth, but I will sand it down. But I do still want to keep some of the texture, the unevenness, just to make it look a little more natural. I just wanted to share that TikTok. It's day 2. At work, I recently found a loose screw. Which belongs to me. What I mean by that is that I've lost a few. In there. And I'm on the hunt for my screws, my loose screws, which I've lost. So here's my collection so far. These are the ones that are registered into my brain already. Here we've got like a few. What is this? 6? This is a good one though. I was searching for this particular one for a long time. This one's for my articulation. My limbs, my movement, just everything about my mobility. I've been really clumsy lately, so this will really come in handy. Now, all I need to do is project it into myself, back into my head. And what that looks like is this. I hold it in my hand, just like that. I clasp it. Unfortunately, you'll never know where you'll end up. Luckily, I'm at a park near my house. Last time, I ended up like an hour away from home. And I'll have to meet you there because it's really cold. And I'm not sure who's out here. And here it goes into my collection. Hopefully I will be a little more nimble now. But that's enough of that. Let's carry on to our little project. So today I want to start just slowly crawling up the stem here. I've got some clay left over here. I've actually used quite a lot just for the base here, because this whole part is clay. This is 2. These are gonna be like bowls to hold the more small things like earring cuffs. The tree itself, okay, you can maybe imagine how a necklace could hang here, you know? If I hung it here, maybe twisted it around somehow and it could look cool. But for rings, there's no really practical way to put them on here. So what I'm gonna do is, when I'm building up the clay, like around these parts here, maybe up here and stuff, I will put like little spikes where I can hang my rings, and I don't have to like, you know, insert them like this into the branch. I mean, this whole thing is very improvised. I didn't look up any tutorial how to make something like this, so I don't know, maybe it will be really unstable and just crack apart, but I'm trying. I'm having fun. This here is a good tool. So you can definitely tell I'm kind of just mashing it into the foil. Of course there's gonna be so many air pockets inside there, which I don't know if that's gonna be structurally bad. It's probably gonna be like crumbling apart. This one I'm making much thinner because I feel like I just used way too much clay for that one portion. Because for this one I just like really like did that, like I smushed it all together. I think just like pinching it at the back and just ripping off the extra material is the better way to go. And actually it's holding up pretty well. Like, I don't think it would be that bad if I did just fully do this whole thing in clay all like now. I'm really putting a lot of faith into the sanding process. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of creating a Frankenstein right now, and then I will be able to mold it, shape it more when I'm actually like getting rid of the extra material by sanding. Projects like these are very forgiving, you know. You have to forgive yourself when doing stupid stuff like this. But yeah, what I was kind of going for with the shape is like this sort of teardrop shape here that you can see. This branch, sort of looking from a specific perspective, you can see it kind of goes into this curve and it spirals in. So it's almost like an eye. If you look like this, I think this looks almost like a tear duct. Just something reminiscent of water, movement, the wind.
Who the fuck did go here? What? No, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone. Yeah, you on the phone, right? I'm gonna call you right back.
I got a haircut. I've also slept 1 or 2 hours. Because I was doing an evening shift at work, and then I had to cover morning. But anyways, I decided I'm going to just finish doing it all in clay. This part dried, and I realized a grand mistake was that because this part was already dried and I added the new clay, it wasn't mashing together. It's just separate. I will wrap it all up in one cohesive clay layer. Also, I looked back on that video by the mirror. Why do I have the biggest fucking zit? What the fuck? I did go to the park to take some pictures of my new tattoo flash. This I did the first one. It has some femur script. The text here, it's written in the femur script, but this isn't the femur language. This is actually just words in Lithuanian and English. This one in particular says Taika radome mintyse, which means that which we found in our thoughts. This one's in English. It says needle pricked sight, change of tides. It's just kind of abstract wording, but also trying to tell a story vaguely. I just jerked off the Holy Ghost. So this is what this is all I got. It did sloop a little bit from the weight of the clay. In the back you can see a lot of patches where it's not covered. You know, it's gonna be something. It looks kind of cool, I guess, but I'm just so worried about the structure of it all. It's still gonna be wobbly, I believe. The littlest of movements is probably gonna also break the clay. I don't know really what to do. Like, how would you even make a structure like this that was actually, if this was manufactured and not handmade, how would you manufacture a shape like this to be like sturdy? What kind of material would it be made out of? Steel? How the fuck do you... It's not like jewelry. Jewelry. What the fuck is that? It's not like those jewels weigh that much, you know? But I don't know. It's like look. It's not gonna be... It's just not gonna be stable at all. I just don't know. I'm a little bummed, but it's too late to give up now. It's been quite a while since I came back to this project. Recently I moved around some stuff in my flat, and because of that, I actually will be taking up a mini extra little project on the side. This here. I can't pick it up right now because I have it glued here, set on the ground to be spray painted. But this is a stick I sawed at the park.
That's so fucking clean.
That's so fucking clean. And it's gonna go on here, on this wall, where it's just empty right now, which is like my sort of entrance area, because I want somewhere to hang my coats. So I'm gonna use this as a coat hanger. What I did was I nailed some nails into the wood. I like bent them. Then I put some modeling clay around it. Now this modeling clay, it needs to be fired to be hard, because it's not like normal clay that can air dry. So I had to stick this stick diagonally into my oven, which I didn't know if it was a good idea, but it worked out. And now I tipped it off with masking tape, because I'm gonna spray paint these chrome, just like the jewelry. For fuck's sake. The thing I'm doing for my jewels. So these silver So these silver hooks are gonna match my silver jewelry object there, because I'm just gonna put it there. A while back I made this curtain. I've only recently put it up, and I found this really nice stick in the park. From the same tree actually, I took it to hang these on. And I wanted the natural theme to keep going, so that's why I picked a stick to be my hanger. Well, it's more like a branch, it's not really a twig, you know. It has to be pretty thick to hold my coats and stuff. I'll have to nail it into the wall, which I'm not too worried about because it's already pretty scuffed up. I'm liking my space a lot more now, because I don't know if my last layout made that much sense. Everything just has a nicer feng shui. I think I enhanced the feng shui of my apartment. I'll maybe do a flat tour sometime soon, because I'm still gonna be here for a while, but I feel like it's getting to a place where I'm pretty confident, you know, how I've set the place up. I want to have a little memory of, you know, where I used to live. I want to show you around where I've lived the past 2 or 3 years.
Would you look Sylvia Plath in the eye and tell her to not be depressed?
So that's kind of what I'm watching while I'm working. Right now I'm using this really gritty 60 grit sandpaper to sand this down. It's looking really rough right now. And then what I'm gonna do, I think for some reason I want to put masking tape on it, because I just feel like I don't know, it's just gonna, I don't know, like make it together, I don't know, because I feel like the fibers in this tape is gonna somehow hold it together. And then I'm gonna put another layer of clay, like a cohesive thick one. So it's going to be a lot thicker than I intended it to be, but I would rather it looks bulky and sturdy, because if it looks sort of like this thinner design, I would be really afraid to use it, like being overly careful to place my jewelry when, you know, when you're going out, you're kind of just like taking stuff really quickly, so I don't want to think about like, I'm gonna break this thing. But I already started sanding it. I will actually go put on a mask, because there's a lot of fine dust that's coming off. This is what that's looking like. It's all chrome right now. But once I pull this masking tape off, it's just the hooks that are going to be silver. I think I'm gonna do a layer of acrylic medium on it. I actually tested a patch here, because I was afraid maybe the chrome was gonna kind of disappear. But it still looks like chrome, you know, with the acrylic medium on top. So now I'm going to paint these little hooks with that, so that they don't wear down. So I stripped the tape from the hanger, and this is essentially finished. You can see the hooks are nice and silver. They aren't completely nicely coated in chrome. There's kind of white splotches, but from afar it doesn't matter. They're going to be covered anyway. All I gotta do is nail it to the wall, which is going to be so loud. And when I was nailing these nails into the wood, it was actually really hard. This is a hardwood. I don't know what kind of wood it is. I hope I don't disturb my neighbors or hit like a wire in the wall. I don't actually know what's behind this wall. And there she is. Getting it on the wall was a struggle and a half, but it's there. It's hanging on. It does kind of just slightly tilt down whenever you put something on. Right now it can handle 2 coats. I'm not trying to fuck around and find out if it can handle 3. I think it looks really cool. I put this Lithuanian folk band to cover up the nails in here. I also painted the end in chrome just to match, as if it's like the wood, the inside of the wood is chrome and these are like things growing out of it. I'll keep my keys on here as well, because it's like something metal as well, sort of metal chrome, you know, to match whatever. I think that's looking really cool. Also painted this square on my canvas for no reason. And I wore this as a mask. because that shit is actually lethal. My thumb, can you see? That chrome stuff got on my thumb and it like reacted. There's like a bump where it was and it's just, my skin's discolored. I don't fucking know. This project might literally be the death of me. As for this guy, it actually went through a bit of a transformation. So I sanded it just a bit, nothing crazy because the tape's going over it anyway. And I already taped it around where all the sort of cracks were beginning to form, because there were a lot. Especially when I started sanding, it was cracking apart. I sort of used the tape to create these links here, which will help support these structures. Because now when I pick it up, it's not actually like wobbling around and acting crazy. And instead of just using clay, like to do the other layer on it, I'm gonna use the same modeling clay I used for those hooks for my coat hanger. Because when it cooks in the oven, it is so much more hard, and I don't have a lot of it, and it is pretty expensive. So maybe I will just go around these problem areas, like use it on these links here so they're really hard and stable. I will probably leave some clay just exposed, and then I use the modeling clay to just enforce the areas where the cracks usually form, which I know where they do now, so I can target those areas. But I will do that another day because today I already did a lot. I will admit, I am misleading you a little bit by framing this video as like day 1, day 2, day 3, because it's not like they're consecutive days. Well, you already know that, but you know, some of these steps take me like a couple or a few days to do because I have to do it little by little, because I have to work, go to a job, and it drains me.
Today drained me.
So that's kind of how I feel sometimes. And I just had to do this little by little, but we are finishing. If I rushed this process, it probably wouldn't have turned out as it has. Sometimes it just so happens to come out even more cohesive than the first idea was. I used to want to do everything the same day I started doing it, and that obviously burns you out. Somehow ends up being... You can't see it fully right now, but bro, I'm cooking. I'm literally cooking. It's in the oven, it's cooking, bruh.
Let him cook! Let him cook now! Let him cook!
It's time to take it out of the oven. There's definitely... This combined with the spray paint fumes and chemical burns is really gonna finish me off. It looks so cool, I don't know, I love the spirals. Well, let's take it out, you know, to really see what's going on. I feel like that maybe it's just from the parchment paper, I don't know. What the fuck? Yo. Yo ho. All hands. Hoist the colors high. Heave ho. Okay, so obviously it's gone through some changes, or a few. I really had a lot of fun using that modeling clay. This is the one that I used. It's Fimo. Pretty expensive. This cost me like 11 pounds, I think. And it's like plastic based, you know, it's not like normal clay, which is earthy. And it's just so smooth, and when it hardens, it's really hard. So I just had a lot of fun just making these sort of more little intricate sticking out points. And here where I had the tape, I enforced those connections obviously with the clay, almost making it look like bone structures. I connected the base a little more here as well. As I said, I added all these little spikes. So for the smaller ones, like this is where maybe an earring would go, because the loops are a little smaller. These bigger spikes are to put like a ring on, and then necklaces I would imagine would just kind of, I would wrap them around and sort of have them droop on this whole structure. This is one of the even bigger changes. You can see it's like a doorway, which I think really pulls the whole concept together, because at first it's like a shape and it's really hard to understand where it's pulled from. What kind of structure is this, you know? Is it a creature or a landscape? So I've kind of pulled it into a landscape concept. Sort of, this is a stone structure. It just helps, like, you know, you see steps, sort of like a doorway, and your brain goes, okay, this is some sort of structure, you know what I mean? So, you know, this would be like a portal, a rift, you might say. And you can still see the tear shape I mentioned. I feel like now it's somehow more pronounced. It looks better from different angles now, because at first I only really focused on this angle because it is how I'm gonna see it mostly. But you know, I also want it to look good from the back. Yeah, I'm just really excited. I need to sand it down though. Yeah, I will try not to completely erase some of this texture because I do like how it looks organic and like stone almost. But some places I do want to smooth down just because there's maybe a little too much thickness. I guess this white look looks cool, but it is dirty and burnt. I don't know, I'm like, do I spray paint it or just paint it white, I mean? Or do I go with the chrome? Because when it's this huge, it's this big thing here. If it's all chrome, maybe is it a little too overwhelming? Considering the jewelry on it would also be metallic chrome. Actually, what I did here also is put some holes in this rib. I'm actually even referring to it as a bone. Maybe I should keep it white. Actually, recently I read the books Gideon and Hera. I haven't read Nona yet, but it's a little fantasy book series about necromancers, and I kind of like the vibe of bones right now. I think for the time being I will just keep it white, but I will have to paint it white because I don't like how dirty it looks. But what I wanted to say was like these holes would be for earrings, which just have this stump here because I can't hang them. I also don't want them to just all lay there. And you know, if there was like a few going like that, I think that looks really cool. So I wanted to show you just how like other things would look. So here's just a ring on here. Here is like a smaller earring hoop. Here's a necklace that I strung on here, and it kind of hangs just there. This dragon head looks cool in particular, like the way it kind of frames itself through the structures of this object. Bone, structure, statue. I mean, it also just looks like a statue, you know, like a little statement piece. I feel like I already sort of, this is the reveal of the finished thing, even though it's not quite finished, but I will really polish it off. Another day, I'll do like some beauty shots. Trigger warning for a really minuscule amount of blood. Oh, that kind of looks crazy. The brown here is just from the burnt, where it was burned, but then where it's redder, I cut myself. This modeling clay is pretty hard to sand, so I resorted to using a X-Acto knife, which is working pretty well, almost too well. Here's the aftermath, and here's the sanded piece. Typically the purpose of sanding is to make it look not beaten up, but I seem to have gone the opposite approach. Well, as I was sanding it, I realized some of these parts are just gonna sort of stay like that, like it's just really hard to get in there and sand them down to be smooth. So I decided to embrace the fact that it's like natural looking, like a stone, and I added these really purposeful slash marks around, as well as dots. So I accentuated these holes where earrings would go. Also, I realized I missed this one spot. I didn't cover it up, which is really annoying. I did come to the decision that I will paint it chrome, because when I put it in my living room next to my white wall, it sort of just blends into it. You know, even if I painted this a bone color, which is more like a warm color, it still would just look like unfinished because the wall is white and this is white. I want it to pop, so I will end up painting it chrome. So this isn't the finished piece yet, although it does look really cool. I will paint it another day, but just for the sake of this video, this is just the final day. I'm back from work. Once again, I had a morning shift after an evening shift. For some reason, I'm not feeling that delirious. I slept pretty well, maybe at least 5 hours. And this was like my 6th day at work, and I have 3 more to go. So I'm working like 9 days, but that doesn't mean I'm making more money. So I'm just trying to make the best of it and work on this little project to forget how miserable I am. I'm also sorry I haven't been showing the process that much. If I'm trying to catch something on camera, I'm just like purposefully maybe catching like 10 seconds of what I'm doing and then stopping. I recently started watching a lot of this man's videos. He's just a woodworker.
This is the story of a $10,000 table that I did not want to build, but my customer never knew that, and the only way he's gonna know that.
So you see he's like doing stuff.
So,
and I always thought, this is a lot of work just doing the project that he's doing. And I thought, damn, how is he also setting up the camera and filming and editing the video? He's not. He has a friend to do all of that for him. When you're doing it yourself, it's kind of like, I want to just focus on the project. So it's more like I'm explaining what I did instead of showing you, which is the most interesting part. That's why I watched this guy, because it's like interesting to see him pour the resin, chip at the wood, sand it down. So I hope you didn't click on this video expecting that, because it's sort of reading more as a vlog, this video. I hope that aspect is at least entertaining too. But I'm gonna go eat and start painting it chrome. And I'll show you a little bit. I'll try to. How professional is this? We got some good lighting going. Welcome back to the reveal. Here's the finished piece. It's all decked out in some jewelry I picked out. I tried to do it as aesthetically as I could, just to show you. I think in everyday use it will look a little more random, less put together, I think. But now I want to show you some nice pictures that I took with my phone. For my final thoughts, I'd say it definitely turned out to be more than I expected. As you can tell, I was going for something more elegant at the start of the video. Sort of this really thin design. I wanted it to feel almost ethereal, like it's floating in midair and the jewelry is just sort of floating on it. But that obviously wasn't going to work because this is the real world and there's physics. So it would have just ended up being really finicky. So it would have been just really unstable, and I'm really glad I did make that change, because now it looks so much more sturdy, and I would say more expensive because of it. At first I also wasn't sure about the chrome look, because I sort of did enjoy the white, how simple it was, and it wasn't really overwhelming. But again, I think the chrome sort of makes it just more expensive. It feels more expensive, like it was made out of metal almost. Obviously it doesn't store everything, so I'm just sort of keeping my favorite pieces on it. This took way longer than I expected, and honestly, the idea to make this video, sort of halfway into making this project, was a really good idea because it kicked me in the ass to really go and finish it. Otherwise, I feel like I might have almost given up on it, to be honest, maybe thrown it out. At that stage where it was, I was really debating, do I just finish it or do I scrap it? I went along with it and I finished it, and I'm really glad I did. So in the video I'm just gonna take off my jewelry, put it in its rightful place. For this ring I actually have this cool case. I'm just putting it in there. closing it, and it has this little spot here where it kind of sits. Got a little bracelet on. So this, I think I just kind of like dropping it on. And then the same would go for my necklace. Where the fuck? So for something longer like this, I would like fold it in half and just hang this one here as well, I think. You see, this one's just kind of drooped on here without much thought. It can fall off easily, but it stays on, no problem. Thank you for watching. Whether you stuck through the video or just kind of skipped along, that's fair, I understand. It's not that interesting. Sometimes you just don't have 30 minutes in your life to listen to some dude rambling. But if you do, I'm glad you did, and I love you for that. If you didn't, fuck you. Sorry. And just stay tuned for whatever I decide to do next. I'm not too sure myself.